Action isn't the solution to anything. People think that if they do more, they put more hard work in, put more hours in, then they're going to get better results. But it's really the energy and the frequency behind what you're doing that's going to actually get you the desired reality and the things that you actually want. And I learned this from a video that I was watching yesterday from Nero Knowledge. If you know him, then you don't need to watch the video. But honestly, he is so valuable when it comes to your mindset and what you actually want. Like for me, I'm stuck right now. I'm in a place where I'm stuck, and I know for a fact it comes down to my mindset. I'm doing everything that I need to do. I'm doing all the actions that I need to do. I really did feel like I need to do more. I felt like I needed to do more work. I'm doing the wrong things, but I know it's not the knowledge. I've got what I need. I've got the knowledge. I've got the methodologies. I've got everything that I need to get to where I want to be. It's just my frequency isn't on the level of where I want to be. And if your energy and your frequency isn't on the level of where you want to be, you're obviously not going to get there. For example, if you want to reach 50k a month, but you're still stuck and your energy and your frequency is stuck at 10k a month, you're not going to get to 50k a month because you're not on the level of what it requires to actually get there. Your internal state is the thing that creates your reality. Your energy and your frequency is the thing that creates what you actually get and what you actually achieve. For example, let's say you've got someone else who has the same exact knowledge and knows the exact same thing, but they're just doing better than you. It's not because of beginner's luck or anything like that, which we'll get onto beginner's luck in a minute, but it's because their frequency is on another level. They've mastered their feelings before doing the actions. When you actually feel the things of what you want, if you actually feel those things before you get there, then you're obviously naturally going to get there because you're already feeling those feelings. But if you're tying a material item with that feeling, if you say, oh, when I reach 10k, I will be happy, you're not going to get there because you're not happy enough. You're not on that frequency, you're not on that energy level to where you'll actually just start to naturally get it and attract it. Like me, I'm not a spiritual guy. I know this voodoo shit doesn't work. I'm not that guy, but I know that this is real. You need to master your mindset to get to where you actually want and to progress. It's not about doing more. It's about literally being smart and using your mindset to shape the reality you actually want. Let's touch on beginner's luck. Beginner's luck isn't actually just luck. It's simply because let's say you're doing something and you've been doing it for a while and you've introduced your friend to it and they started doing it and they're getting beginner's luck and they're doing well, they're doing better than you, even though you've been doing it for a while. It's simply because of their frequency. They're doing something new. You've been doing it that long to the point where you're probably overthinking about it. Your frequency is low about whatever it is. Whereas that new person, they don't even know what's happening. So they don't overthink, they just do. And their frequency is high on whatever that topic is and whatever it is you're doing because they don't even fully understand what it is and they've not been in the space or whatever it is they're doing long enough to actually overthink and lower their frequency on it. Like if you're playing a game, for example, like if you've played it for a couple of years and you've introduced a friend to it, like a card game, they might win because obviously they don't even understand how to play it, but their frequency is like they want to win. So as I was saying, beginner's luck isn't just luck. It's literally because the person who is starting out, the beginner, doesn't overthink anything, they just do it. And like I said, just doing and doing more isn't going to shape your reality, but the energy and the frequency behind it is the thing that gets you there, and that's what beginner's luck is. And so people fall for that action creates reality, but this is such a lie. Obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing things. I'm not saying just stop working and just think about what you want. Obviously not. I'm saying your frequency and energy levels need to be in line with the things you want and when you're doing these actions. Like for me, the reason I watched this video that I'm talking about now yesterday, where I've got this information from, is because I know my energy, my frequency, and the thoughts I'm thinking are holding me back from getting to where I want to be because my frequency isn't on the level of where I want to be. I'm not thinking positively. I'm thinking about the bad things that could happen. Where if I'm thinking about the good things, if you're thinking positive all the time, then you're just going to stay positive. Positive things are going to happen. Whatever you think, you get, and it's as simple as that. And so action obviously is important, but it's not as important as mastering your internal state and your frequency, because once you master that, once you're in line with where you want to be, you're naturally going to attract that, as I was saying earlier. When that happens, you're obviously going to reach the goals you want because you're already in line, you're already on the wavelength of actually where you want to be. And that's all because behavior is preceded by identity. So you need to identify yourself, you need to be the person that's already where you want to be. What would that person do that is already making 10k a month? What would that person do who's already making 100k a month? You need to do the actions and think the thoughts of what that person would be, that future state you want to be. Think the actions and think the thoughts of what they actually would do, when you're already there. You're going to start acting like them. Again, you're going to bend reality and you're going to start actually attracting the things that you genuinely want. And so most of you who are watching this video are probably actually doing exactly what you need to do. And you're not getting to where you want to be. You're not reaching your goals simply because you haven't aligned your frequency with where you want to be. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, it's master your mindset, get on the energy level of where you want to be, and identify yourself as that person who you want to be. Think the thoughts of that person, do the actions that person does, and you'll start to naturally attract the things you want. And so if you're watching this video, you're probably some sort of entrepreneur or business owner. And so I want to ask this one question. When you're not working, when you're resting or you've took a day off, how do you actually feel? Because I know a lot of you are going to say you feel guilty. You feel like you feel the need to actually work. And that's simply because you feel that action is the solution. But how can action be the solution when you're literally doing the actions you need to do to get to where you want to be, but you're not there yet? That just proves that action is not the solution. And so if you can't actually enjoy rest, you're not going to be able to enjoy anything at all. And so what I'm saying is, if you can't actually enjoy rest, if you can't enjoy the time that you take off without feeling guilty or feeling shameful or feeling like you need to do work, then you're not going to be able to enjoy anything at all. Because if you've got discomfort in the ability to relax and rest, how can you actually expect to build a business that allows you to relax even more? Like for me, I made it the business to be able to feel free and to be able to actually relax. And right now, I feel like when I am resting, when I'm doing what I made the business for, I feel like I feel the need to work. I feel shameful and guilty for it, even though that's exactly what I started for. And that's literally the whole reason why nowadays I literally force myself to rest. If I get thoughts of feeling guilty or shameful, then I literally just take my mind off it, and I don't really do it anymore. To be fair, I've only known this stuff for the past few days, and recently when I've been taking days off, I've not really been feeling guilty or shameful. Like in the evenings when I start to wind down and do a opposite task of working on the business, sometimes I get it then a little bit. And I've not really been doing it for the past few days simply because I know that when I feel like that, that's just going to lower my frequency. When it comes to working on the business, I'm literally going to not perform as best as I can. And obviously, like I was saying, if you can't enjoy rest, if you can't relax, and that's the whole reason I started the business, then I'm not gonna be able to enjoy anything in life, you know what I mean? And as I was saying, it's because everyone is literally so obsessed with doing so much with the to-do list. Like, if I'm being honest, like everyone's got a to-do list, everyone's got like a calendar or a literal to-do list, but nobody's got a to-be list. And what I mean by that is you need to identify yourself with the person you want to become. So create a to-be list, create the person that you want to become to actually reach your goal. Because who you actually identify yourself as is the person that's going to reach your goals. If you identify yourself as someone who's going to make 100k a month, you do the things that that person at 100k a month does, you think the thoughts that that person at 100k a month does, then you're going to get there. And so that's why you need to create a to-be list. Stop focusing on the action, stop focusing on doing so much. Obviously, I'm not saying that action is important. What I'm saying is frequency, focusing on your frequency first, then doing is important. So if you're doing all these things, but your frequency isn't aligned with where you actually want to be, then you're just not going to get there. And so if you're going to take away one thing from this video, it's literally focus on your frequency, higher frequency, so you naturally attract the things and the achievements that you want to actually achieve. So remember this, frequency first, action after. Frequency first, action after.